to Alternative Visions, where we explore innovative approaches to leadership, facilities management, and enhancing staff engagement. I'm your host, Franklin Rodriguez. Today, we'll explore a fascinating topic affecting the environment and the community at Columbia University. In this episode, we're joined by Sean Scollins, the Assistant Vice President of Engineering and Energy at Columbia University. With extensive experience managing complex facilities projects, he'll provide insights into the initiatives to improve campus efficiency and sustainability. We will explore how leadership can enhance staff ownership and involvement, ensuring everyone feels invested. We will also discuss the challenges and opportunities accompanying such upgrades and fostering a culture of engagement can lead to lasting benefits for the university community. Whether you're a facilities manager, an educator, or simply interested in how leadership can drive positive change, this conversation promises valuable insights. Let's jump right in. How are you doing, Sean?
Great, Franklin. Thanks for inviting me to have this discussion today.
Great, great. So tell me, how do you see the environmental control systems upgrade fitting into Columbia University's broader facilities management strategy? And what role do you believe staff ownership plays in the success of this project?
Yeah, so I would say, perspective-wise, Columbia University has a long-term sustainability plan, CU Plan 2030, which is looking to drive the campus to net zero by the year 2050. This project in Hamilton Hall really nicely fits into, the broader management strategy that we have across the campus, which is basically utilize as many energy conservation measures as possible and at the same time improving our resources and our assets for the betterment of the campus community as a whole. I see staff engagement as, the utmost priority in this because these projects are complex. They're, invasive to the spaces, and we really need our staff to understand our vision and be able to carry it out.
Very good. How would you describe your leadership philosophy concerning staff engagement during significant projects?
I think we need to get buy-in from like day one, minute one, right? There are a lot of projects that are born out of a thought that maybe our staff, our operators, our engineers, maybe weren't a part of that thought, but they have to then kind of rally around how to execute on that and make sure that we're executing in a proper way. A lot of times a project will be conceived, it'll be planned, it'll be designed, and our teams, our facilities teams really don't get a cut until it's already being constructed, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the most difficult things for any operator, is to try to figure out how to operate something that they didn't have buy-in from in the beginning. Some of the best comments that we get while we're in feasibility or DD for projects are from our operations teams, because they're the ones at the end of the day who have to figure out how they're going to operate these systems efficiently and be able to maintain them. I see that buy-in as incredibly important, really, at project initiation.
So what strategies do you recommend for encouraging staff to take ownership of their role in this project? Like, how do you empower staff members to contribute their ideas and expertise during the upgrade process? Since there's a lot of experienced technicians and mechanics that are aging as well.
Yeah, so number one, you have to leverage the fact that we do have a workforce that is very experienced, right? And how do you leverage that experienced workforce, right? And so what I encourage my staff to do are to reach out to the operations teams, engage them from day one, and then encourage them to speak with the mechanics and the technicians to get their thought process on how these projects are actually going to be delivered, right? And so I think it's what you do is you from a leadership role, I have to make sure that my people are engaged with being able to speak to operations leadership. And then operations leadership has to understand that they have to engage the operators, right? At the end of the day, who are going to have to understand how to deliver on these projects. The least successful projects at the university are the ones that did not get that level of buy-in from day one.
I completely agree with you. It's funny because we would get, I'm part of the environmental controls shop, and we do see all this new technology, all these new projects coming along. And my very first question is, did we get involved in this? Like, we know where the pipes go, we know where all the lines come from. Like, we could have done it so much better or so much easier, and just to help out, not really to do the project, but just to be part of it, because it just creates this, I guess, quote unquote, like harmony
It's
amongst
all
the
it's
creation.
about cohesiveness, right? Right. So,
Yes, that's the word.
I encourage my team to come and knock on the control room door all the time and get involved and dig in deep when either they see something or they're thinking about something, and really try to engage, especially the control shop, since it sees everything, right?
Mm,
Control shop probably sees the most of any operations team, because we're not you're managing the BMS, but you're also in the field correcting or operating the controls, right? In which
yeah,
you to be in the front of the house, in the back of the house, in all sorts of spaces. And so, quite frankly, like that's where the knowledge and expertise lies.
absolutely. So, what challenges have you encountered in fostering staff ownership during similar projects, and how do you address management? Can you share any lessons learned from previous upgrades or previous projects that you've been involved with?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we've done, especially in the project management fields, are my engineering project managers are incredibly knowledgeable about building systems in HVAC. I like, and my commissioning team is very knowledgeable in standards in construction design.
Mm,
What I've told the two teams to do is get together on all projects, whether they're operations driven or they're driven by capital project management, and do the reviews together and engage themselves, because there's something that commissioning might catch, but
yes.
that engineering wouldn't, and vice versa. There's something that engineering is going to be thinking about that commissioning is not going to see, because they're thinking about how to constructability and design requirements. Engineering is thinking, how is this actually going to work? And then when you layer in operations,
Mm,
plant operations or building operations, and say, hey guys, can you take a cut and look at this and be through the whole design review process, the construction review process, because at the end of the day, we have to turn over something to you to operate. And so are you going to be able to operate it, right? And if those that like trifecta is the best way to go around major projects such as, the one that, you've taken initiative on here with Hamilton Hall.
yes. Um, when it comes to, because you were involved in the Hudson Yards
Yes,
project as well, did you
yes.
encounter something like this in that project specifically?
Oh, 100%, right? So I was on the receiving end of the the development team's project. So one of the major activities that I had at Hudson Yards was taking over the cogeneration plant that powered and heated and cooled the entire 11.5 million square foot campus. I was there pretty much and entered the team on day one of commercial operation. I wasn't there for the design process. So there was a lot of things that we inherited that we didn't have the ability to ask, why are we doing this? Why are we value engineering this out? No, we actually need that. Why is the valve 20 feet in the air? Why doesn't it have a
Yes.
chain wall, right? How are we going to fit into this space to take the rounds? Does it really make sense to run at this temperature or that temperature? Our operations team was hired after construction. So
Wow.
we basically had to recommission the plant while operating at the same time. And it was a real eye-opening to me in my career, and saying, all right, what was our major learning here? And how could I use those major learnings when I went to Columbia University in my current role, right? And the major learning to me was operations in at day one, to understand how they're going to operate and maintain the project that's being delivered.
Yes. So, how does this upgrade align with the Columbia University sustainability goals? And what role do you see staff playing in this initiative?
Yeah. So I see CU Plan 2030 as a way to do a capital renewal on the entire campus and do it with decarbonization in the forefront, right? We have a very historic, and in some cases, older campus, right, that needs some upgrades as things are coming to the end of life. If we upgrade with just like in kind, we aren't going to achieve our goals. So we have to think outside the box when we are going to upgrade, right? And some of the outside of the box aren't really that outside of the box. They're just simply adjusting, the equipment and the controls to, things that are currently available or maybe available in the future. So, for example, right, one of the major parts of this Hamilton project is getting off of pneumatics and moving over to DDC controls. Physically removing the pneumatics and the issues with air leakage and piping and things of that nature are already going to be a savings in terms of emissions. That, and when you couple that and you think about the amount of maintenance hours that also can be reduced by adding in these DDC, and how we make the building even more operator friendly because we can look deeper into the systems and make it more
Yes.
comfortable for the end user. So we've achieved all of our goals of the university. From a sustainability perspective, we've reduced emissions. We've made the building easier to operate, and for the end user, our clients, our students, our staff, we're going to make a much more inviting environment as a result of making an upgrade in technology.
Awesome. So how can we ensure that the sense of ownership cultivated during this project continues to in future facilities management efforts?
I'm going to turn that around, frankly. I'm going to ask you that question. I think that is the more important thing to get here. Like, I can see how excited you are about this project. Why don't you tell me how you think you can utilize something like this to cultivate, excitement about projects from the operator level?
I believe um, when we started this project at Hamilton, like which is it's no secret, it's my favorite building in the campus. It's a classic. It's a 120-year old building,
Yeah.
and I immediately saw some of the things that can get better because every building in campus can be better, especially upgraded to current and future upgrades, pretty much. But when it comes to cultivating ownership amongst my coworkers, it's already happening.
Yeah.
They're very excited. They want to learn. They want to work together, and it's transferring into other shops. And that's the beauty of this project as a whole, because we're working with other shops as a team, as a unified front, to make this building what it potentially can be. And in the future, this is just a pretty much, I wouldn't call it a pilot project, but it's pretty much the beginnings of something bigger. And as the saying goes, like the first one, you're gonna run through a lot of lessons learned, a lot of mistakes, a lot of things are gonna happen. But slowly but surely, the other building is gonna be tighter and better. It's gonna become seamless, and that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll piggyback on top of that, right? So, being in a leadership role at this organization, this is like awesome to see, right? Is, a ground floor shop driven project that is large but achievable and attainable, right?
Yes.
And those are the type of things that, you know, leaders love to see, because that means, you have a cohesive unit that's looking for solutions and not just accepting what's given to them, right? And so again, to kind of tie back around in the beginning, the best projects are the ones that are going to give the operators and the maintenance teams the most ease to operate and maintain.
Yes.
And so what does that mean? Is that means involvement, and also the problems that are being solved are seen, by the control shop, right? At first. So like
Yeah.
being able to generate being able to generate a cohesive project and being able to generate a plan is really great. And my job becomes easier, my team's job becomes easier, because we just have to figure out how we're going to deliver the tools to allow, the the facilities team to design, implement the project.
Yeah. Very
And
important.
yeah, yeah. And the other thing too, from my perspective, we've my organization has been challenged to meet the sustainability goals of the university and figure out how to get there. we're not the largest team in the world, so we
Mhm.
love getting help to try to achieve those goals and and blend that into our cohesive plan. So
So now I need advice from you.
okay.
So, what advice would you offer someone leading a project that enhances staff ownership and engagement? Like,
Yeah. So, I mean, number one, you want to present your project to your team, right? And figure out what are the goals of the project from day one, right? So there's, and put those when you align those goals with the mission of facilities and you communicate that, you will get ownership and buy-in from the team that'll be working on the project. So, if you take this Hamilton project and you align it with the mission set for the ECT shop, for the HVAC shop, for the plumbing shop, for the electrical shop, right? And seamlessly weave in how this project is going to enhance your experience as employees, you will have a successful project.
I completely agree with you. Thank you for the advice.
Yeah.
So now, final insight. Is there anything else you would like to share about the importance of leadership and staff engagement in the context of the environmental control systems upgrade and other shops as well? Because the plumbing and lighting, they could also come up with ideas with LED lighting, let's say, or plumbing just metering the amount of domestic water coming into the building. Like any ideas?
Yeah. I mean, so it's not like it's not a very like earth-shattering idea, right? You are the shops are the ones that see and know about the enhancements that can be made to the campus well before capital project management, engineering, energy engineering, ground floor is where the improvements are. And, if take ownership of what can be improved and you make recommendations, I can tell you right now that the management staff here will listen and make and help enable making the changes that we need to make. And the other thing that I would say is we all have to embrace technology. Every shop has to embrace technology because it'll vastly improve our jobs moving forward and enable us to see deeper and deeper into the systems that we operate to, again, create an enhanced environment for our end users.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much, Sean, for
Thanks,
this
Frank.
amazing interview.
Appreciate
And
having the conversation today.
all right, take care now.